All right, it's a new week and we're back. But this week, I have somewhat been inspired to do something that I've been putting off for a very long time. I am going to work on my 93 Fox body. It is what it is. I've had this car for, I think, going on 18 years now, something like that, 17, 18 years. Currently, it has a 4-valve with a Pro Mod 88mm turbo, Sullivan intake, you know, the whole works. Actually, we just recently cut this elbow to make it face forward. And once I put my nitrous plate and stuff on there, you know, it'll be sitting up pretty good. But the thing about this car is, whenever I got it, whenever I was 15, 16, whatever it was, the car was white. I was like, I'm gonna paint this car. Well, I painted it graphite slate gray, which all in all, I mean, it's really not a bad color, but once I painted this car that color, I kind of felt like I resented the car a little bit. I absolutely hated it on this car, so it has deterred me for a very, 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 very long time from working on it. I work on it here and there, very little, but I just painted an engine bay and stuff for a friend of mine and his Mustang, and I was like, I really should paint mine. So actually I went and bought the paint to paint it back to white. So what we're gonna do today, me and Shelby here, we're gonna work on getting the fenders hung back on it, make sure all the tabs and stuff are in the right place. And once we make sure those are all in the right place, we weld it. Me and her are gonna go ahead and pull the engine transmission out. First things first, once we do that, we'll get the roll cage, everything painted, and we can go a little bit more in depth of what's kind of done to the car. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but it's a pretty cool car, and I've had it a long time, and it means something to me, I guess. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start getting the fenders and the front bumper and stuff put back on the car, like I said, and make sure everything's where it needs to be before I final weld it and we sand it down to paint it, because I would hate to have to redo it. So let's get going on that. Alright, so we got the fenders hung back on it. We got the front pieces off of it. Go ahead and get this intake elbow pulled off. Get that. Like I said, I'll have my nitrous plate and stuff underneath that, you know. Gotta help spool up that big old turbo. But we're a little ways away from that. We're gonna work on getting the engine pulled out of it now. We'll get set up to do that. This intake off of it too. Good old 4-valve stuff. So yeah, now what are we gonna do?
I don't know.
What? Look at the size of that turbo with you. That is crazy. That is crazy. We're gonna work on pulling the engine. You know that.
Oh.
What are we gonna do?
Pull it out.
And do what with it? Throw it away?
Yeah.
No, we're not. Alright, we're gonna work on getting this engine out. I've been welding and grinding, so I got this tower cleaned up, a little bit. Since I had to replace this cowl, because when I was like 16, my hood flew up and it completely collapsed the other one, so I had to replace that with a donor car. I got all this ground out, all the way in there. I got to grind out in the windshield and stuff right there. So I need to go ahead and get the dash pulled. I need to get the doors pulled off of it, get everything cleaned up, and then probably can start sanding down the cage and maybe paint the cage tomorrow. I don't know, I gotta get that other car out of the paint booth. Is there stuff on my face? Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get these doors pulled off of here, get them out of my way. Cause also, the car had a lot of rust. I replaced this whole jam on this side, and then on the other side, I replaced, I believe it was the top half of it. But we're gonna paint the door jambs and engine bay at the same time. Save myself a little trouble. That way I can come in and I can jam out the doors and everything, hang the doors and everything, and then I can paint the whole outside of the car. You know, the fun stuff. So I'm gonna get these doors pulled off of this thing. These doors are actually from a donor car as well, because I wanted manual windows. I didn't want power windows anymore. So these actually came from the same donor car that Cal did. So if anybody's wondering, yes, I cut up a perfectly good notchback Mustang to save my car. Do I care? No, because I'm saving my car. My car. Oh, shoot, this thing's heavy. Yeah. See, I replaced all this all the way down to need to reprime this. What we're gonna do, we're gonna work on that. But yeah, I replaced all this to here. So we're gonna cut in this jam. We're gonna repaint the jam while we're at it. Get the dash pulled. I really don't need to worry about any of this. I replaced all of this. I replaced sections inside of here because I peeled it back, and yeah, we're saving her. We saved it. Whatever. Now we got the doors off. Oh man, dusty. When I did some of the rust repair, actually I replaced up into this section too, so I got to do a little bit of filler work on that, you know, straighten it out some. But I replaced this section. You can kind of see a little mark right here. I replaced all of this upper door support section, I guess you can say. And then I replaced a bunch of stuff up in here and everything. Like I said, I got this car back in, I don't know, 2004 maybe, something like that. And all that stuff was actually rusted out then. So the car was only like 11 years old when we got it, and I already had a bunch of rust for whatever reason, I don't know. And then I did some poor repairs when I was like 17, and then I painted the car, and now that I'm older and I saw what I did, I was like, wow, okay, yeah, good job, buddy. So yeah, now it's fixed right. I replaced it with all, not new metal, used metal from another car that's in really good shape, which is now in a scrapyard, but you know, it's okay. Like I said, my car will be fixed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this dash out so I can grind out the parts in the windshield, and then really clean out the inside and start scotch brighting and sanding and stuff and make sure everything's how I want it, and spray some primer on it maybe tomorrow or Sunday. I know Shelby really wants to paint this roll cage, so I'm gonna let her paint it. I got roll cage paint and stuff to do that, so that's fine. And then she wants to do a bunch of sanding, so yeah. Let's get to it.
That's too. There you go. That's so close.
All right, here we are. We're back in the paint booth, or we're in the paint booth. We just got paint put on the roll cage, as you saw, and you see this black line, which is really annoying. The cage is still a little tacky. It has a bunch of runs because Shelby and my wife were helping. Not a big deal. So I just wrapped it in plastic. I already know I'm gonna have to sand some of it down and touch it up. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the door jambs and the engine bay and everything of this thing in primer. That way, it can sit overnight because it's epoxy. They say you can paint after 45 minutes, but I like to let epoxy shrink a little bit. Get in a primer and then we'll spray color on it tomorrow. And we'll be back on track to get this thing all painted back to white. I want to see it in white again. It's going to be awesome. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get some primer shot on this thing. I am not dressed in the right attire for this, but it is late and I want to get this done. So it'll be fine. I'll wear my mask and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this down and get some primer on it. So we're back in the paint booth today. We're gonna get this car in color. I got it primed. I just got it all wiped down with wax and grease remover and everything. The color we're gonna paint this car is Oxford white. No, I'm lying. It's performance white. The other Mustang I just painted was Oxford white. So this is gonna be performance white, which I don't know if it's a great color for this car, but that's what color we got. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up and everything and spray some white on this car. I'm ready to see it in white again. painted, sort of. It's white, as you can see. Now, 2 spots messed up on me, which, I mean, I guess you're gonna have that on these big jobs. So, I'll show you one. This, I guess the hose touched it. It is what it is. I'm probably gonna scratch it more than that whenever I put an engine stuff in it. And then, this right here, I don't know if you can barely see it, right there on that crack. I don't know if some wax and grease remover got stuck in there or what, but luckily, that little section, whenever I go to paint the body, is gonna be a section that's gonna be painted, and this upper section here is supposed to be painted black on the car anyways, so that is fixable. That's not a big deal. So there's only 2 spots. But all in all, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, turned out pretty smooth. I mean, I can see the lights, everything in it. So got the jams all painted. Got everything. See, this side did fine. This side had no problems. So I'm gonna let this sit in here for 2-3 days before I do anything. I'm gonna take my K member, my control arm, my caster camera plates, everything. I'm gonna powder coat it. Same with some parts on the engine. So this is gonna sit here for a little while and cure out. The temperature's a little low. I used a medium reducer, so it's gonna take a little bit longer to dry good. But there it is. It's painted white. We're on the road to have the Fox body back up and running. And the next video, we're gonna be working on the Model A. I'm actually about to go take it off of the truck because I got my lift fixed and I got the parts in. So, till next time.